So hello,
Hello, hi.
are we talking English? Where do you come from?
Israel.
From Israel,
Yes.
okay. How you stay here?
For 1 month.
You are the first time in Germany?
No. In Germany, I don't know, 10s, maybe more.
Yes. So you have two here for your job, for studying, or for holiday?
For my job.
For your job.
Yes.
Which direction is going your job?
So I'm a mathematician. I'm just having Kontakt here in the Regensburg University.
Mathematic.
So I have a colleague there, and we work together for 1 month.
Can you describe for me Israel?
Yes, it's.
Do you come from a big town or a small town?
I come from a small town. It's a little bit bigger than Regensburg. It's 200,000 people. It's on the border with the desert. Israel is very small, so it's like 480 kilometers from north to the south. It's like a rhombus like this, and it's like 120 the widest part. We have different climatic zones, so we can even ski during the winter in the mountain. In the north it's more green, in the south it's Red Sea, in the middle and the south it's the desert. Tel Aviv and Haifa on the Mediterranean Sea. Jerusalem it's a bit inside, like 50 kilometers. 8 million people, very mixed population, even among Jews. Many people come from different places, different languages. It's very
different religions also.
Oh yes, of course there are. So
they are all like in India. They are all religious there.
No, completely not. So it's completely so. Although maybe what you hear outside it is, but so in Israel it's over 6 million Jews, and there are probably 1,500,000 Muslims, and the rest around 400,000, 500,000 Christians or other religions.
Hindus, Buddhists.
Whatever. There are a very small number of those, of course.
But they are existing also.
They exist. Most of the people in Israel are not religious.
So the Hindus and the Buddhists are not so interesting in this part of the world, or why they are so small?
No, because Israel is basically the country where for Jewish people, in the sense that every Jewish person can come to the country.
So many Arabic neighbors, no?
So many Arabic neighbors, yes. And in Israel it's impossible to be illegal, basically. So it's different from many parts of the world. So if you come illegally, they encounter you after 20 years, you will be deported.
The YouTube website Israel Heute, it's a German YouTube channel.
Okay.
I saw pictures of Israel.
Okay.
I think it's for me the most interesting YouTube channel.
It's very beautiful.
Because it changed my view of this country. I have my view from the newspaper, and for me, they are only reporting about wars, about problems, about criminals like this. So this Israel Heute brings me.
So I tell you something about.
For example,
Israel.
a Bavarian restaurant. No? It's also there, so I was very surprised. Yes. So mixed of for all people.
So about Israel, I'll tell you something. It's much safer than Cologne or Berlin, for example.
Really?
There is almost no crime. You can walk around at 3 o'clock in any place. When there is a conflict with the neighboring countries, then there is a problem, and it's not nice, of course. Yes. But if you ask me about real danger,
we are the Christians. You say they are Jews and they are Muslims,
and they are Christians.
But is this not a place of, especially also for the Christians?
Christians, they are Christians, of course. They are Christians. They are mostly Arabic Christians, but there are also
Arabic Christians.
They are mostly Arabic,
not the Catholic like here. They are not so existing there.
There are as well, yes, but I don't know about the number. My guess it's a little bit less than 100,000.
More, the Arabic Christians are more.
Yes, they are more. But as the country, it's a Jewish country, so there's a Jewish majority, but it's a completely democratic country.
Who is saving the areas, the Christian areas? The Arabic Christians?
No.
Which priests are there?
Oh, that's a very good question, which I cannot answer. So there is certain part of the government which is in charge of all the religion, but as well it also depends on the church. So you see that there's a Catholic part, there is a Russian Greece part, there is Orthodox part, so each church is responsible for itself. Some of them get help probably, some of them has own land in Israel, so then it's their land, so then they probably get money or from the Pope or from the Orthodox priests. I have no idea actually.
Today I talk in my first interview with a Catholic sister. She's in the Carmeliten cloister.
Yes, we have Carmelitan as well.
And she says Jesus was Jewish.
Yes, he was, that's true.
And I asked her why we don't have, because I was Catholic, I changed my religion, why the people in the Catholic Church don't get the prayers in Hebraic or like this original prayers of Jesus. You know something about this?
So my guess is just the beliefs are different. You see, the Jewish people, they believe in what they call Antiguo Testamento. It means the Old Testament, and people believe. So for us, Christ is nobody. That's the point. For us, for not for us, for the religious people.
It's not a prophet for us. For you.
For religious Jewish people, Jesus is just a person who lived at this time. Is like in 2,000 years, they will talk about me who lived in this time. That's all. Who is a historic figure, who was an important historic figure. So maybe not like me, but maybe like, let's say, Angela Merkel, whatever it is, whatever you like her or not. But from the religious point of view, there is only one God, and that's it.
You're praying, or you are religious?
I'm not religious.
You're
I'm not religious. I don't pray, but but I'm not atheist completely, but I am. I believe something exists. I do some kind of how you say. Of course, our holidays, because this is my tradition. I see it more as tradition, less than as religion. I like it very much. Holidays, but I don't pray. No.
Why are you? We begin with your country, and it filled the most of my this interview.
Yes,
because the thematic is the same. It's the same of my interviews of my website.
Okay.
Because I changed my religion. I got Muslim 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was very interesting to speak somebody from Israel. Can you tell me a question? A German Muslim who is now 20 years in Islam.
You know, I don't have questions for you in that sense. As a Jewish person, especially as Israeli, we don't have anything against completely any religion or something like this. But for the moment, what's happening, not in the country, but what's happening with Israeli borders, especially what's happening with radical Islam, it bothers me and it worries me. But it has nothing to do with you or with German and Muslims or with
it makes
Italian.
You afraid. And
not from you.
It's really sometimes so that you have to go in this to save yourself. You go under the earth. You have a sirene alarm. You have alarm or like this.
Yes, it happens when there is a war, of course.
How often is this happening?
Well, it depends on the military conflict. So last time it happened 2 years ago when there was a war with Gaza. Then before that it happened in, I think, 2000. Well, don't take my word on it. I don't remember. My guess is 2009. It was another war with Gaza, and then before that was 2006.
The last year is what was. It's not.
No, last year
was not this
the problem
conflict.
But the problem is that there is extreme propaganda from the other side, basically, which is not shown, unfortunately, in the media. It's just like the programs, how to kill a Jew, how to.
Do you have friends in Israel, Arabic friends?
I have Arabic.
Or it's very difficult for you to get friends. Or
I tell you something. I have a very good Arabic friend, but not in Israel.
Not in Israel.
That's the point. He's a Tunisian guy. He worked with me abroad because I spent some time abroad as a mathematician, as a postdoc, because I worked at the university. He's a very good friend. So he's Muslim.
Are there friendships between Jewish and Arabic in Israel?
Yes, there are. But I would say mostly it will be probably between Christian Arabic and Jewish, because there is a mistrust. And the point of mistrust, of course, there are exceptions. To everything I say, you also to speak with me, you will speak with someone else, he will tell you a different point of view. But there is a big mistrust, and the reason is that there are still terrorist attacks, and sometimes the other side, and usually the other side, you deserve it, even when Jewish kids are killed or stabbed, you see. So there is not real condemnation. So as a Jewish person in Israel, I don't see from the Arabic part, especially from the leaders. I'm not even talking about the guy who sits in Ramallah. I less care about him. I'm speaking about Israeli Arabs, because with these guys I have intersection every day, basically. I don't see main condemnation from the part. Or those guys who sit in Israeli Knesset, it's I would say in many other countries they would be persecuted probably, but for what they do. So it's if you ask me how to solve this problem, that's a big question. I don't have an answer for this. But I think first that radical propaganda basically from the other side should be stopped. And radical propaganda, I mean...
Propaganda, where is this propaganda made? In which places?
Usually in the Palestinian territories, unfortunately. I don't have with me the phone, otherwise
where did we get this propaganda? In the mosques or outside the mosques?
So this I don't know.
This would be political centers?
That's both. For example, just recently, so you know that many years ago in Munich, when there was the Olympics, then 12 Israeli sportsmen were killed here by the Arafat terrorists, and only recently they were made as heroes by the Palestinian territory. You see, so this is just one example. There are so many of them. So unfortunately, it's inspired also by the government. It's made as well in some mosques. I don't know if it's all of them, not all of them. I don't know what is the percentage. That's not the question to me, since I don't know, but that's my guess. About the propaganda, it's very easy to see. You just see them on the YouTube. This is not only on YouTube, on the TV, their TV. And this is very sad, because this is like there is a Hamas Mickey Mouse, and they teach you how to stab the Jew, and the kids are 3 years old. I mean, why? So,
I think what for me is important, I'm looking from outside,
yes,
that for me Israel international state and democracy, certainly.
Yes.
And what Palestine wants to create is it's a state which is national, and this is for me, for all people who wants to create a new state, they want to make it international. They want to check the blood, the faces, and then you can be member in this state. It's not possible, I think. When you don't say when we create a state, we have to begin it international. We have to invite people from all countries who brings us luck and brings us knowledge or like this.
Unfortunately, it's not like this. So you see, what I see from this conversation, that you're Muslim, I'm Jewish, but we can talk. Unfortunately, we can talk. We might disagree on many things, but we can too, and we can probably reason together. But I can tell you something, an interesting story what happened to my friend. And this, in some sense, I don't know if it resumes, but a little bit the story. So, I'm a university professor, so I have another friend which is a university professor, and he went to the international conference. And he met people, actually, another intelligent people in the conference. He's doing electrical engineering, I'm a mathematician. The conference was in the United States, and he met a guy whose family was Palestinian, but he lived all his life in Kuwait. But he's Palestinian Arab, and then he studied in the United States, and he got the job in the United States. And then he said, okay, let's pretend that me and you, Israeli, he said, we're sitting at the negotiation table. Me and you, just me and you. And this is the piece of paper, I give it to you. Tell me what you want. Just write what you want.
Yeah.
You know what was the answer? That all of you leave the country. Everything is ours. And this is what is very kind of frustrating for us. That's the main point. And this is, in some sense, resumes the attitude from the other side. And I think it will be by the majority of Israel, unfortunately, because the process was started many years ago. Somehow frustration is that no matter what we do, if they can, they will pull the knife and stick it in my back. So it's and the conflict. It's not exactly about about the land, because the land you can negotiate. That's not. It was like when it was the Barack Arafat very long time ago. 95% of us was already on the table. It's not really the land. It's much deeper than that. Yes. So it's. I don't have an answer.
I found peace in the mosque, so I changed my religion. So and I always remember this moment. So for me, the definition of Islam is always to find peace in the prayer. And then so this is not certainly for everybody that they.
It seems for the big part
That
it's
they
not
share,
the same.
that they share politician and religion. They want to mix it, and this is so.
But you
the
know
peace
what?
can't exist.
It's not only that. It's just if you see already in Israel, for example, the way that usually Muslim Arabs, they treat their family, they treat their women, and something also. For me, it's somehow the treatment. It's like 500 years ago. So it still exists in Israel in the Muslim families that if the brother suspects his sister to seeing somebody, he just kills her. And you see, and although people tell me, look, but this is our religion, so I say this is anti-human and this should be broken, and this I don't care. If this would be my religion, then I would fight against it. And somehow no religious leader says you should stop this. It doesn't matter what happened, I don't know how many years ago. It's like Christians in Europe, like remember Crusades 500 years ago, but now there are no Crusades. Or they killed people in the Inquisition 500 years ago, now there is no Inquisition. So why these rules should apply to Islam in almost all Islamic countries? I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia, Iran, what's happening there. So it's frightening.
Yes.
And it's actually more frightening than terrorist acts, much more, I would say. Because terrorist acts is something local, so if you train well your forces, which is not the case in Europe, then you can stop most of that. But when there is a propaganda and when there is a... So my feeling is that for us, for Jews, the thing which is saint is life. So we pray for life. And I would not say all definitely, but there is a big percentage of Muslims in Arab world, for them the saint is death. So it's like they feel martyrs, they wait for them 72 girls in heaven, whatever it is. This is just small examples. But the thing is that they kind of praise the death. And when this will change, when people will understand this life as saint, then maybe it will change their perception. This is my feeling.
Thank you very much for this
Thank you.
honest talk. Ne? Sagt man Shalom and what is
Shalom.
goodbye in Jewish? Also Shalom. ne?
Litraut.
Litraut?
Litraut.
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 Okay, now I give you my website.